It's time to be empowered.
It's 2015, it's the Be-Mpowered podcast. It's time to change your life around with two blokes talking to you about fucking video games. My name is Simon Miller. I'm on Twitter at SimonMiller316. If you've listened to this podcast already and you think, fuck me, this is the greatest podcast I've ever heard, get your ass to iTunes and review the Be-Mpowered podcast. Give us 5 stars, give us a review and say, fuck me, that was good. All right, that's all the energy I've got. Today, we're going to run down the games of 2015, and I'm doing it with my good friend David Lynch. Do you like Lynch? How I was really excited for the start, and then I pulled away all my enthusiasm when I talked about both this episode and you.
Oh, that's nice. Thanks for that.
Nah, it's pretty mean to be honest. I'm only joking around, David. How you doing, my friend? Thank you much for joining me. Are you ready for a journey of empowerment as we look down 2015's barrel and see what is coming out and is going to splurge in our face?
That sounds disgusting, but yeah, all right.
But are you ready? Are you for starters, how has your 2015 been so far? We're 9 days into it.
Well, I spent my New Year's playing Destiny, and that was relatively good fun.
Oh, that's all right. I can't remember if you've played Destiny a lot already or if this is your first...
No, this is like my first foray. I'm only like about 10 hours in now, so I've got my first character going up, and yeah, I like it. But I can see what people whinge about it. But let's not talk about that. That's last year.
Oh, man, Lynch is so on message. It's ridiculous. But no, so today, again, the format is a little bit different because a lot of people have asked for just like a big rundown of the games of 2015. So that is literally what we're going to do. Lynch and I have our calendars up and we are literally going to scour through them. And when a game takes our fancy, we're going to chat about it, which I think is very exciting for us all. Isn't that right, David?
Yeah, are we going to tell people what list we're using so they can go have a look at it?
No, we're not doing that. I'm not promoting rival websites.
Fine.
Go to Wikipedia. They'll have something. They'll do it.
I want to only say that because the first game on the list is Warhammer Quest for PC, Mac and Linux.
Well, now people are going to find that list. We're using the Game Informer list. There we go. You've ruined my little plan to be a massive dickhead, but never mind. So we're literally going to run down the games. We're going to chat about them. We won't chat about all of them, but hopefully we'll get to your game of choice and we'll discuss them a little bit. And as David asked before we started this podcast, he'd like to give each one an excitement rating.
Yes, please.
So that is what we are going to do. So you can get excited about that, and maybe you could even share your excitement rating with us as well. Who knows? That would be nice for everybody. Make everybody feel powerful as we go on. All right, David, do you want to go first? Do you want me to start?
Well, I'm looking at this January bit, and the only thing I can see there that I quite like is Grim Fandango, and that came out years ago.
Yes, but we can talk about that. No. I made a video the other day about games you should be excited about in 2015, and I put Grim Fandango on that list because it is probably... maybe top 3 point-and-click games ever, I'd say. And I'd put Monkey Island and... Oh, man, maybe Day of the Tentacle in there as well. Maybe they'd be my top 3.
I'd get a bit of Blade Runner in there as well, because I love that.
That's true. But I mean, the thing with Grim Fandango is it came out at a time where games were kind of in this like transition period. And while it was very, very successful, not necessarily commercially, but critically, I don't think it reached the audience. I think the problem we have now is, will an audience of 2015, I almost said 14, will an audience of 2015 be accepting of a game like Grim Fandango? Because they should. Because not only is it genuinely, the story is really good and it's really, really funny, it is a point-and-click game. I mean, it's good because I think I'm right in saying it was the first one that had 3D movement, right? You didn't have to literally point and click. You could walk around the 3D space using your arrow keys.
That sounds about right, actually.
I think that's right. So that's good, because that obviously makes it feel a little bit more modern day-ish. Yeah, more current. But I mean, it is still a lot of puzzle solving, and there is still a lot of sort of, looking at one environment on a screen and trying to piece together what the hell you're supposed to do. And it is damn hard.
Yeah, but we have the internet now. I know who's going to do those puzzles. They'll try it once and get frustrated and then straight to Google, surely.
Well, maybe, but that's not really in the spirit of video games, one
True,
would say.
But if that were the case, I wouldn't have finished Monkey Island by now.
Well, that's true, actually, yeah. Especially the redone ones on Telltale. I would tell. Actually, I don't think they were particularly good games, but we won't talk about that.
Oh, okay.
But I do think it's something that... I don't know what the price point is, but I think as long as it comes out at a relatively... I say budget, I don't like that term because that makes it sound like we shouldn't care about it. But as long as it does come out at a budget price point, I think that a lot of people should at least give this a go, especially on PS Vita. It's a wonderful handheld experience. Like it's just, and Manny Calavera is arguably one of the best video game characters of all time, one may say.
Yeah, I know. I would agree, but it's one of those games that it's been years since I played it. I literally can't remember anything that happens in it. I know he's dead. What is it? He's a detective.
Well, it's all set in the Mexican underworld.
That's it.
And he's the guy that helps you kind of bed in once you die. And he kind of explains the ropes and tells you what to expect. And that's the thing, like the setting is awesome. Like I say, it's very Mexican fueled, but each of the environments go to you are brilliant. The characters are excellent. You kind of meet up. Your kind of sidekick is this weird creature thing called Glottis, who's like this stupid mechanic thing, but he's really sort of lovable and funny. And yeah, you just, as the whole adventure unravels, there's a nice sort of big twist, and you kind of look back on things you've done hours earlier and go, oh, I see how it all ties in. And it's just, I mean, there's a reason they're remaking it. It's a very popular game back in the day. There's still a lot of love for it now. And I'd be happy for what was then the LucasArts brand of point-and-click games to all get remastered and come out. I just think they're full throttle. I'd take that again. That game was awesome.
See, I played that recently.
You can complete full throttle in about half an hour if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, it's not very long at all. But
No.
It's brilliant.
It's excellent.
That had the context-sensitive sort of you could have a bunch of options. So like you could speak, look, or touch something, and you could do that in the world. It gave you more options of how to do stuff, which that was later carried over into the later Monkey Islands as well. Like that one that looked like a Monkey Island 3, was it?
Yes.
The 2D hand drawn one.
Yes, it was that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
was really good.
It was, but I am excited about it. I think it's certainly a nice way to start the year. And before we kind of get to our big heavy hitters, like I'm well up for Grim Fandango. Hell yeah. And I give it an excitement rating of 8 out of 10. Fucking hell. 8 out of 10. I know, man. We're starting off high here. We're breaking the scale before the scale has even been introduced. What? I'm waiting for your excitement rating, Lynch. What's your excitement rating?
Excitement rating? Yeah, I'd probably between a 7 and 8 out of.
Oh, you 10. Can't even lay your hat on which one you want.
7.5.
In a made-up scale, unbelievable.
They're all made-up scales.
Well, that's true, yeah. Oh, okay, I want to talk about Dying Light, bizarrely, which I don't think is actually coming out on January 27th, but we'll go with this list.
It says it here, yeah.
We're going to go with it. This list is our bread and butter. We're just going to go with it. We believe in the list. If it doesn't come out on January 27th, well, that's a shame. But now, I'll tell you why, because at E3, I can't remember whether it was this year or last year, because Dying Light's been around for a while. And I've never been a big fan of the Dead Island games. They've never really been
I quite like
thing. They're okay. So I sat down with Dying Light, and I was typical video game journalist cynic, and I was like, I'm not going to like it. It's going to be terrible. But it's hands-on at the time. What they showed me and what I played was actually really, really good. Like, the zombies kind of get more powerful at night time. So there's this really nice balance where when you were walking around in the day, you felt not safe because you were still, there was still dangers that awaited you, but you had to. You knew that when night came, if you weren't in a safe haven or a safe place, that shit was going to get bad. And surprise, surprise, the mission I was doing meant that that's exactly what had happened. And I did. I felt genuinely on edge. I was fighting these zombies in the day, and then as soon as nighttime came, I knew that they were too powerful for me to fight. So I was kind of, parkouring, for lack of a better term, my way across the environment, trying to get away from this horde. And I remember I felt a bit on edge, and I felt entertained, and I enjoyed it. And when I walked away, I remember thinking, yeah, I could definitely play more of that. I was surprised. I mean, this was a long time ago. I'm pretty sure it was E3 2012. 2012? Yeah, I think it was. Fucking hell. But so a lot could have happened since then. And what I played was obviously just a small slice of that. But I genuinely think that it could surprise some people.
How did the parkour work? People said it's like a Mirror's Edge inspired, and it's like
nothing's as good as Mirror's Edge. We're not going to give anything the credit that Mirror's Edge deserves. But from what I can recall, it was a lot like that. Like, it was very intuitive, very quick. Like, the character would interact with most things without too much bother, unlike Assassin's Creed, where you have to fucking hit 9 buttons before he does anything. Yeah. And because of that, the worry wasn't on trusting in your character. The worry was on these zombies that were around you and ensuring they didn't sort of catch up to you and screw you over. And honestly, it was. I mean, a zombie game I'd always choose to play is Left 4 Dead, and it's nothing like that. It's a lot more, of the Dead Island ilk. But I've never played a game that was within this category that I've liked as much as this one. Again, there's 20 minutes of play, so I can't really stamp authority on it to too much degree. But it was good, and a lot of people don't seem to give a shit about it or are writing it off. And usually I would be that guy, but I think in this instance we should maybe give it a chance.
All right, fair enough. I'll give it a chance. It's got zombies in it.
Well, yeah, you love zombies, so I mean, it's not going to be as good as Left 4 Dead. Let's not, we can talk about what Left 4 Dead 3 is. In February we can chat about that. But
we can. Yeah.
But we'll get to that. We've got a couple more. I assume there's a couple more in January you want to talk about. Oh wait a minute, Dying Light excitement rating 7 out of 10. There you go.
Oh, okay, so nearly excited. Yeah, I'll go with that.
All right, nice.
I'm a little bit more excited now. You said those things.
But the thing is, I genuinely think if you like zombies, if you like kind of wanton destruction and all that kind of nonsense, and you like a big open world and things like that, I wouldn't write Dying Light off just yet. Maybe wait for some reviews to hit to see if it's managed to, stay relevant. But also, it is next gen only. Like, it's not coming out on Xbox 360 or PS3, and I think that is also.
Is that right?
I'm pretty sure. I'm going to go with it. I've said it now, so let's drive on forward. But I do think, regardless, as the year unfolds, that will be the big thing of this year, leaving the Xbox 360 and PS3 behind as more games come out on next-gen machines only.
Yeah, I mean, you'd hope so, but I don't know, because there's such an embedded audience with those two consoles. I do wonder whether we'll see a few sort of hangovers still.
Yeah, I think there'll be a few. I don't think it's going to be total, but I think there'll be a lot less than last year, and I think this will be the year where, games such as Dying Light, new IPs kind of, try and stamp their authority on the new breed of machines so that people can forget about what came before. That's just my guess anyway. Maybe we'll get to the end of the year and go, nope, getting nothing's changed. Video games are shit. But we'll have to wait and see. Right, Lynch, you're cool. I got 2 more on this list I want to talk about. So if you manage to hit one,
okay. What are you looking at? All right, I guess Resident Evil Remastered. I've kind of got a bit of a thing for that.
We got to talk about. Surely we have to talk about Resident Evil Remastered, because not only was it received very well last year when the previews came out, it's the original Resident Evil game, but can you believe it? Remastered.
Yes, I don't know what to add to that, really, Simon. That's just pretty much it.
Well, okay, here we go. My question to you would be this. I didn't play the first Resident Evil when it first came out because I didn't have a I didn't have a PlayStation. I chose my N64.
What the hell were you doing with your life?
Fucking playing Mario 64, right? And I was well happy with it. My point being is, I played it now, obviously, but if there is, little Jack who has never played a Resident Evil game and he's old enough to play this one, is he going to be able to sit down with Resident Evil Remastered? Can they do enough? Because obviously the core template's going to be the same. With everything we've learned over the last 20 or so years, is Resident Evil still relevant?
I would say it's more relevant now more than ever, because everyone... it is. Look. We've got a series now which has moved so far away from what it was that people are complaining and up in arms when something like Resident Evil 6 comes out, and it's like... It's just free crap action games, which, it pretty much was. And you've got something like The Evil Within coming out and going back to the core survival horror, all that wonderful stuff, which, is generally having a bit of a resurgence right now. It really is. And to have Resident Evil come back out and kind of go, well, this is where it kind of started, pretty much. Forget Alone in the Dark. This is where it went mainstream. Yeah. It's good. It's going to be good. The balancing act will be whether you can sort of retain that... hardcore, this is genuinely quite a tough game. Some of the puzzles are too, controlling the characters was like handling a tank and getting around it wasn't easy. With getting it more accessible for new people to come in and play it, it's going to be a bit of a tricky one. But they've remastered it so many times anyway on the Cube and stuff. So
that's true.
They've pretty much got it down. I reckon this is going to be a pretty safe bet.
Do you think they are releasing this game to reset the franchise so when they do Resident Evil 7, it can be more akin to this?
I don't know. It's too hard to say because they've released it so many times now in so many different ways, and even when you get back again on the Nintendo GameCube, when you go back to Resident Evil 0, and they've done things like this before. I would say that's probably a bit too hopeful.
Okay, fair enough. I thought you were going to be more confident than that, but I think that's why they're doing it. I think they know Resident Evil 6 was a huge misstep and really did hurt the franchise, and I think this is a way to say, hey guys, don't forget we used to be all right. And now going forward, we're going to try. If they have to now as well, with what PT did, they can't. If they want to get a piece of that pie, which they really should do, because it's Resident Evil, then now is the time to do it. There's interest in the genre again. Evil Within was pretty good. PT was really good. Silent Hills will be massive when it comes out. And if Resident Evil wants to get back to the kind of the level it was once at, now is the time to do it. If it fucks up Resident Evil 7, I genuinely think that could be it for the Resident Evil series.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, the one thing you can say about 6 was it made everyone forget about 4.
4? What do you mean? 4 was good.
4 was all right. No, not 4.
Wait, what?
I mean 5.
Ladies and gentlemen,
5. I meant 5.
David Lynch has just said on an international podcast that Resident Evil 4, widely considered the best game ever made by some, was all right.
I meant 5.
5 is good. Why does everybody hate 5? 5 is better.
This is the thing.
5 is better than 6. 5 is a lot better than 6.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it is, but it's still poor by.
No, I think it's good.
Capcom.
You finish that game and get unlimited Magnum ammo, and you've got a treat. You've got a treat for your hands. I like Resident Evil 5. I really do. I stand by. I think I gave it 8 out of 10 for X360 magazine, and if I could go back in time, I'd give it a 9. It's a wonderful, wonderful game. You know who else like Resident Evil 5? The man Sam Roberts. He understands. Oh, while I think about it, obviously I advertise this is the Star Wars podcast. This is not no Star Wars podcast, because we will not do the Star Wars podcast until myself, David, and Sam can all sort our lives out and get on the same episode. Like, that will not happen until it's us three.
I think we need to be in the same room.
Well, we can maybe do that next week. Okay. With what we discussed before this podcast. There you go. That's something incredibly ominous for the Be-Mpowered universe. But yeah, maybe that's something we can look into. Anyway, the last game I want to talk about in January is GTA 5 PC, because it's a big deal. Because usually, not only will it maybe, I don't know how it really works with the PS4, Xbox One versions, but it should be the best looking one. It's the time when Rockstar go, right, modding community, it's time for you to come up with the... which will probably become some of the greatest ideas we've seen yet for it. And I think that it always excites me, like the Hulk expansion, the Hulk mod they did for Grand Theft Auto 4 is still something that cracks me up.
There's loads of great stuff out there for the PC versions.
And that's why I think it's exciting. I think that people have been waiting for this for a long time. You know, if you're not a console player, you've been waiting over a year for this. And there's a lot of GTA fans out there who are on PC. And I think, now's the time it'll give it a new lease of life. It will come up with ideas that no one ever saw coming, and GTA 5 once again will be relevant. What other game does that? It's almost been like,
it's crazy, isn't it?
We're well over a year and it's still relevant. It's amazing.
Still, yeah. I mean, I wonder why they took so long. I mean, maybe it was the fact that they were working on the PS4 and Xbox.
Well, they always take so long with the PC.
They do.
I don't know why. I don't know why, but yeah, they seem.
Must be so frustrating.
Maybe it is really clever. They think, well, either that is a technical thing, and they think we do not want to release it until it's of the best quality possible. But also, there is this idea that they think, well, if we hold off, it will be relevant again years after it came out, because people will start modding it, and that will get coverage in the press and on social media.
It keeps that life going, doesn't it?
Maybe they're smart motherfuckers, Rockstar. They know what they're doing. I know they got a lot of haters out there, but they are very, very smart company. They rarely put a foot wrong.
That's very, very true.
Right, so we didn't give a rating for Resident Evil Remastered. I just realised the excitement rating. I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. I don't really care.
I was going to go for a 7.
Okay, and then Grand Theft Auto 5. Again, 5 out of 10.
I've played it.
But I've played it twice now. I don't need to play it a third time. I will play some of the mods, though. I will do that.
There you go.
Okay, we move into February, the worst month of the year, because it's when I have my birthday. It's your choice, Lynch. I chose Grand Theft Auto 5, so you can pick one. Which one would you like to talk about first?
I'm going to steer well clear of the Order 1886 and go straight for Evolve. It is looking like a really, really strong contender for a good game, and I mean, everyone's talking about the fact that development by the guys who made Left 4 Dead, and it's got that core co-op thing, and you've got your 4 guys and a player taking control of a monster. What's not to like? It surprised me over the coming months now, recently, with the extent of the monsters and what they've done, and sort of the different breeds and the different abilities and the way they evolve as the game goes on. I think it's before it was looking like a really cool core idea which might not have the legs to sustain itself over the coming months and stuff. But now with all these different things being thrown in, I think this has got a really good feel to it, and it's going to look looking really strongly this year.
Did you play the beta?
I didn't actually, no, but I watched a lot of people play it, and it looked like a lot of fun.
Do you think it will capture the Left 4 Dead audience?
I don't think it needs. Well, I mean, the Left 4 Dead audience.
No, okay, not Left 4 Dead audience, but do you think it will continue the legacy left by Left 4 Dead?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, because it's like people who played Left 4 Dead. It wasn't just about the zombies; it was the way it brought players together, and the way you had to communicate and think on your feet and deal with the situation in front of you. And that's only going to get more complicated and more interesting when you've got another player on the other end of that. I mean, like the Left 4 Dead multiplayer, when you had like people playing the different variations of zombies, was really exciting, because you never knew what was going to happen. It was just like every game was different. I mean, look at Left 4 Dead. It had like 6 levels. It didn't have a lot in there really, but
that's because the gameplay was so good. That goes to show if the gameplay is good, you live in the dream.
Maybe that's what Bungie thought would happen with Destiny.
Lol. Sorry, go on.
As I say, this just looks really good. It's a good looking game. It looks like crazy fun, and yeah, quite excited about that.
Oh, there we go. Well, that comes out February 10th, I believe. I don't have a list in front of me. I just know this information. It's a lie. I've got a list. Well, I am also going to steer clear of the Order 1886. I think everybody will find out why when we get to it, because I want to talk about Kirby and the Rainbow Curse, which I believe comes out in February on Wii U. Now, the reason I'm excited, I'm not a massive Kirby guy. Like I've never, but some people are really But some people, during America, Kirby is like massive. Like people love him. They get well pumped for Kirby. And I've never been like, I've always been a Mario Zelda, very typical Nintendo fan. Like, I wouldn't be that excited about a Kirby amiibo or anything.
Yeah.
But the reason I definitely get Kirby and the Rainbow Curse is because it's a sequel or a spiritual successor anyway to Canvas Curse, which came out on the 3DS. No, not 3DS. It would be the original DS. Excuse me.
God, that's going back a while.
And that was awesome. Like, it was a really, really, really good platform game that I am actually more than happy to play more of. Obviously, I don't want to go back to my original DS or whatever the hell it came out on and play. I want it on something new. Maybe it would be better on 3DS. I don't know. But, a new Kirby game's fine. And I genuinely like the way it kind of sets itself up. So, you can draw. You have a certain amount of paint. Well, if it's the same, I think it's the same. I'm sure I played at E3 last year. You have a certain amount of, I call it paint. That's not what they call it. So you get to draw, your own platforms and you can attack, the monsters on the screen and stuff. And it's just a very, very, I'm going to go with charming, the word that no one should ever use, but we're here now. So, hey, look, all video game journalists fucking get well excited about the word charming and personality. But it has that. Like, it feels like a lot of time and attention has gone into it to ensure it doesn't feel like other games.
It has its Nintendo, isn't
exactly,
it?
But it's not going to set the world on fire. It's not going to sell, 10 million Wii U consoles, and it will probably only be discussed by 8 people, one of which will be myself. But it's a nice game. Like, you don't have to overthink it. You can just sit down, play a few levels, put it down, and it will always be waiting for you no matter what happens. Even if you have a bad day, let's say your girlfriend leaves you, or you get fired from your job.
Jesus, that's a bad day.
Or you lose some money. No, not all on the same day.
Right, oh my God.
If you have that day, Kirby ain't going to help you. It's over. It's done. But it's a nice thing. You can just sit down. You don't have to give it any real thought, and you can just kind of let it wash over you like a loving embrace. And that's
what you want from games, is it?
Sometimes. So when I'm by myself and a little lonely, I want to experience a game's loving embrace.
Wii U pad.
Exactly. Have you got a Wii U yet?
I don't. I was waiting for
the price
Zelda,
drop,
to be honest.
Well, no, don't.
And now they said Star Fox, and now I'm definitely.
And they said Star Fox before Zelda, so we could get Star Fox and Zelda in this year.
They wouldn't do that, would they?
Well, they said Star Fox. He said in that video that Star Fox will come before Zelda. Everyone assumes Zelda's this year.
Yeah, because they've shown quite a bit of it last year, didn't they?
So it's going to be Star Fox and Zelda this year. To be fair, they do need that. They don't have anything else. They need games.
That's true.
They need games. So I'm going to slap on a loving embrace out of 10 on Kirby the Rainbow Curse.
Out of 10, all right.
Yeah, it's your choice though.
My choice next. Oh God!
Not the
Order. I'm not going to talk about the Order. I will talk about Criminal Girls Invite Only on the Vita.
What the hell is?
I don't know.
Well, then you can't pick it.
This bizarre list. I've never heard of half these games.
Here's what we're going to do, because my podcast has no. It's the most unprofessional thing ever. I'm typing in. I don't want to type in Criminal Girls to Google. What is it called? Criminal Girls Invite
colon Invite Only.
The government's going to turn up at my house and go, "Why were you searching that?"
We could just talk about the Order.
No, we will do. Okay, Criminal Girls Invite Only is a PS Vita game by Nisa. Surprise, surprise.
What's it about?
I don't. It's one of those weird sex games.
Oh, is it?
Oh, it certainly looks like one of those weird sex games. I don't want to click. Okay, I'm going to click the store.niceamerica.com. This is prime podcasting. Imagine you're listening to this on a bus or a train. And someone says, what are you listening to? Some guys are Googling some weird porn game. 7 delinquents, 7 sins, and only one way out. Just hired for a new mysterious job. You soon discover that this isn't your normal prison gig. You've been entrusted.
Normal prison gig.
Yeah, you've been entrusted with the care of a crew of girls whose sins have damned their souls to hell and an eternity of punishment. Their only hope for salvation is for you to recognise their unique histories and to guide them along the path to redemption.
Well, this doesn't sound sexist at all.
I don't know. Well, the artwork is all just that stuff that should never be talked about. I don't know what this is.
Gaming's not a progressive medium and inclusive to all. One
of the screenshots is just a picture of a girl's legs. I mean, that's... Anyway, moving on. Let's talk about the Order. The Order 1886. Now, I know why I don't want to talk about the Order, Mr. David Lynch, why do you not want to talk about the Order?
I think it looks very pretty.
It's shit. You think it's shit, right? Let's face it. Look,
It's like, I kind of want to like it because it looks like if it was, a really solid third-person action shooter, coming out in perfect time for it in February. There's barely anything else to play. It could be brilliant, but it just looks so grey and drab, and I don't. It's like the art direction. It's like it's fine. It's like it's good for what it is, I guess, but. It just looks like you'll walk into a room and you'll shoot the guys, you'll hide behind the cover, and I've played it.
Exactly, it looks like the most safe game imaginable. Here's the problem. It looks like the most safe game imaginable that was supposed to come out at the launch of the PlayStation 4 when you can get away with that, when it is, look how visually good we are, oh my gosh, whip off your pants and do a dance. And everyone goes, yeah, I'm going to spend £400 because I don't care because it looks so good. Yeah. But now we are past that. We've seen how good games can look. We've all kind of, we've made that jump mentally where you now don't realise how much of the jump there's been. If you go back and play an Xbox 360 game now, as I did yesterday, you go, holy shit, I do not appreciate how much better a PS4 or Xbox One
exactly.
can make games.
It's only when you go back, it's now normal.
Exactly. But, but now we have... Because so now it's not enough that it's visually good looking enough. And every time they show it off, it looks incredibly drab, it looks incredibly boring, it looks incredibly straight-laced, and it just looks like you want to shoot some stuff for a bit? Yeah, all right, do that.
It's like the characters just look like, I don't know, it's just like their facial hair is the most distinguishing feature. It's just like, I don't understand what's going on in any of these things other than like it's Victorian London and you've got machine guns and there are monsters. It's like, do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Extraordinary League of Gentlemen.
Well, the movie with Sean Connery?
Yeah.
All right, you've got to make that comparison work really quickly, because what are you talking about?
It's just because that was set in like a Victorian London with all these hyper-real stuff and all the monsters
fair
and
enough.
shit. It's like that. I mean, like in terms of like that setting, then just totally failing on every level because it's absolute crap. I mean, it works in the comic book because those Alan Moore comics are fantastic and they're incredibly well realised and written, and they're tapped into each of the literary heroes, journeys and stuff, and that works. Translated to film, like complete utter balls. And I think this is what the Order 1886 looks like.
I agree. Like, also, didn't Sean Connery turn down like a real role for that?
Well, no, that was his last film.
No, he did. He turned down roles in The Matrix and Lord of the Rings so he could star in The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Good choice there.
He has not made a film since.
Has he not?
Not properly. He walked off that set with the director. They had a huge bust-up. I read about this in Empire, by the way. They had a huge bust-up, and he has not made a film since. And neither has the director.
Well, there you go. They've ruined each other's lives. The other problem with the Order 1886, and this is Ready at Dawn, its history of development games is not... They haven't done anything where they've been able... This is the first time they'd be able to stamp their kind of creative minds on something. Because, they did Daxter for PSP, they did the God of War games for PSP, they upgraded Akami. There's nothing... games. Yeah, but they're not their games. No, so they took Daxter, someone else had made, and they made a version of it. They took God of War, and the God of War games on PSP games are great, but they had a great template to work from. Same with Akami. This is the first time they've actually been able to go, right, this is our game. And I think, be it because of the confines they find themselves in, or what they've been told they have to achieve, it's just not. Look, I don't agree with this because I think it is better that publishers are now spreading out when games are released. But I don't think Sony would have the confidence to ever release a game like this in November. Because I think it would they know that there would not be the critical support or the excitement that wouldn't just see it, completely buried. So it's great that it's coming out in February, but I think it's going to be a 6 to 8 hour experience, which is fine. I've got no problem with that running time. But I don't either. A 6 to 8 hour running time when you finish and you go for a cup of tea, it's gone. You've forgotten about it already, and you've kind of made yourself slog your way through it.
I kind of feel like it's already out because I'm not going to play it.
Yeah,
and it'll just be there and it'll look drab and boring, and it could already be out for me.
I won't play it. I own a PlayStation 4, but if I do play it, it's because somebody lends it to me. I will not spend money on the Order 1886. Yeah, which is why it gets an excitement rating of 2 out of 10.
God, 2.
Well, look, I'm just going nuts with this scale. I'm just making stuff up.
All right, we're moving on to March then.
No, we got to talk about. There's 2 more games in here, Lynch.
Jeez, what Dragon Ball Z, Xenoverse, what? SpongeBob Hero Pants?
Don't. There is a game called SpongeBob SquarePants. Don't take the mick out of Dragon Ball Z. Those motherfuckers come after you. They're serious, man. Resident Evil Revelations 2.
Oh yeah,
because the first Revelations was actually quite good.
It was good.
You know,
yeah.
It's a shame that this one is only coming out on console and not on a handheld. But that aside, that's quite decent. And Dead or Alive 5 Final Round. I don't like Dead or Alive games. I think they're bizarre, but a lot of people care about it. So we would be amiss if we didn't mention it.
What about Total War Attila?
Well, that comes out on my birthday.
Ooh.
So I don't want to talk about that. Total War games aren't. That's not my bag, baby. They've never really appealed to me. They never will. I know. Again, they're massive. What do you call it? Following.
Yeah.
But they're just they're not for me.
Fair enough. But Dead or Alive Final Round is.
No, that's not for me. To be honest, all those games I mentioned I don't want to play, but I feel like we have to mention them because they've got name value.
All right, there you go then.
Apparently Resident Evil Revelations 2 is in episodes. I didn't know that. Did you know
episodic.
that?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, so you got 1 and 2 in February, and then moving into March, you get the third one. How is that going to work? That's strange. I didn't know that. That's new information to me.
I like that. I mean, the problem I've had the past with episodic content, and it's mainly you get down to Telltale, is the fact that they release one and then there's no consistency in terms of when the next one's coming.
I hate that as well.
Yeah, it's just like if it's gonna, people say, oh yeah, it's like a TV show, and you look forward to the next episode. You can't look forward to the next episode when you don't know when it's coming.
No, exactly. That's the whole.
Like, you give up halfway through. It's like, well, fuck it, I'm not going to play it then.
Yeah, that's the whole problem. Is that they have to say, well, maybe this is what Capcom are going to do. This looks like it could be every week or every 2 weeks, which is the way you should do it. Damn it,
exactly.
But if it's not going to achieve that, then it's not episodic. You're just releasing shit. It's ridiculous. I hate it. It drives me nuts. Like, episodic means you have episodes. Just because you have, it drives me nuts.
But the thing, it's not like a TV show in terms of like. I obviously understand that it's hard to make a game like that because it's tough. Yeah, I get that. But then just make the whole thing and then release it episodically. Just like, but just don't tease me with the. I'm waiting for the new Game of Thrones. Just like, I don't know when it's going to come. It could be months.
Oh man, you ain't getting that shit for ages.
I could be watching the TV show before that comes out.
Yeah, well,
I want to find out what happens.
But that's what I mean. You may as well call it. You may as well call it DLC. Do you know what I mean? You may as well call it DLC for how that works because episodic should mean every Thursday for the next 6 weeks, you're going to get your slice of Game of Thrones. You'll be like, yeah, amazing.
Exactly, because then you get those fabled water cooler moments or whatever the bullshit term for them is. Just like, I want to talk about it with people, but there's no one to talk to because no one cares.
No. Anyway, moving on to March. Whose go is it? Yours or mine? I can't remember. Does it even matter? Who cares?
You have a go.
Let's talk about Bloodborne. Because I imagine we've come down very different.
Here we go.
Right, now, Bloodborne is Dark Souls 3, right? That's what it is. No, Demon Souls 2, whatever.
Demon Souls 4.
Whatever it is, it's the proper one, made by the guy, I can't remember his name now, but made by the guy who kind of started off this horrible trend. Now, I've watched a lot on Bloodborne, I've read a lot about Bloodborne, I like the idea of co-op, I think that's going to be really interesting. And I also
just because you'll have someone to shout at.
Well, yeah, but I think that I don't really know how to say this. Like, the focus on not guns, because guns. I don't not like Dark Souls. I haven't got guns in it, but I just think the focus on guns may make it a little bit more bearable because you'll actually be able to attack from a distance and stuff. I know you can do. I know you can do that, but no, I know you can, but it's too hard. Like, I don't know. I don't want to shit all over Bloodborne because I think it's doing a lot right, and I do think in many ways it looks good. I just hope that it's more not accessible because those games shouldn't be accessible. That's not their point, but just more diverse in the way that I can approach it. And hopefully there is a way for me to enjoy what it's offering without it also trying to destroy my soul.
I think you're walking into a trap if you think that's gonna
I don't think that. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, you're gonna be even more angry at the series, these games, if you go in thinking you're gonna get something out of it because it's got guns in it.
No. That's what I've said. Don't you twist my words.
I'm gonna twist them, and
I'm saying I hope that gives me an extra element to the way that I can play it. Which then in turn, doesn't make me feel like I'm doing the same thing over and over again because I have more diversity at my fingertips. I
just have an image of you popping it in thinking it's Gears of War or something.
No.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing.
That's not
what... Oh my God, I hate it so much.
That's not what I'm saying. I just think it may... I don't know. I mean, you like these games, so you must have a range.
I do like them, and... But I'm not like into them like it's like the core audience. I would say it's just like I can understand and I get them and I can appreciate them. But I think Bloodborne is just like yeah, like you said, the co-op stuff, the world is looking really interesting. Even though the screenshot they got on the Game Informer thing looks basically like the Order 1886, essentially.
Yeah.
I feel harsh criticising the Order and then just showing a screenshot like that and going, this looks really good.
Yeah, that's what everybody else does. So you're allowed to do it as well.
Exactly.
Just be a massive hypocrite.
Exactly. But yeah, this it's just, it looks good, you know. And it's PS4 exclusive, which is interesting. And then yeah, I'm all right. I was saying like an excitement level of 8 out of 10.
Well, you don't sound very excited. It's like
I am.
nothing to say about
That's
Bloodborne.
why I feel like I'm like, yeah. It's just like I kind of just like I don't know. It's like it's good. I'm excited, but I don't know. You also got that sinking feeling like, oh man, this is going to like suck my life away essentially. But what if it is hard? What if it sucks? What if it's rubbish?
It's not going to be rubbish. I think people that love those games will love it, and of course, it's going to suck your life away. They're not going to make it easy.
No,
that would be the complete antithesis to the entire. Oh, God, please do it.
They're getting harder.
If Miyazaki did that, I'd be so happy. You go, fuck you, it's now the easiest game ever. I'd be like, yeah, Miyazaki. And then I get there, and I'd make videos going, oh, it's so fucking good. And everyone go, Miller, you're a fucking piece of shit. And I'd be like, I don't care. Oh, man. And I'd just lay down and go, and I'd be so relaxed. But I mean, I think it's nice that a game of this magnitude, which is PlayStation 4 exclusive, has a very, very not a massive fan base, not as big as some people think, but a very strong fan base, is coming out in March. I think it will do wonders for the PS4. And we've also got to this stage where at the moment the Xbox One doesn't really have anything that it's touting, and
not in the early months.
No. The PS4 is coming with Bloodborne, which is a game that a lot of people are excited about, and it's a genuine coup for Sony to have on its machine.
And didn't Dark Souls 2 come out at the same time of the year last year and did really well?
Did it come out in March? Was it that early?
It was March, February, if I remember right.
I'm looking this up now, Lynch. If you're wrong, I'm going to be very I'm not going to shout at you. I'm just going to think maybe you're not the right fit for the Be-Mpowered podcast. It came out in March, so you're all right.
Yes!
You're all right. You live to fight another day.
Excellent.
It's your choice then. You know, I there's not much more I can say about Bloodborne. I can't even give it an excited rating because I don't know. I don't know is my answer to it. I'll play it, but whether or not it will, who knows? Maybe I'll just play it and record it at the same time. Do it that way. Let everybody experience my misery with me.
Okay. Let's go with next then, Battlefield Hardline, which I didn't realise was March. But
they delayed it, didn't they? It's supposed to come out in November as the normal Battlefield start, and then it got delayed. Battlefield Hardline. I still think it looks like a mod. I think it looks like a Battlefield. I do. I think I played it again at E3. I know I say that a lot, but that's my sort of sole proper. What's the word I'm looking for? But hands-on time with it, and it felt like a mod. The multiplayer was all right, but it felt like somebody had taken the Battlefield 4 template, put it in a city, a kind of a not a destroyed city or whatever. Put some cops in it, and said, "There you go, it's Battlefield Hardline." This
is the thing when they announced it and said, "You're going to play cops and you're going to play robbers, and it's going to change as you move from scenario to scenario as you try and get away from them and do whatever." And then you watch gameplay. It's like it's just Battlefield.
Yeah,
it's just Battlefield. It's like, and there's nothing wrong with Battlefield because Battlefield's excellent. But just because you put some cops cars in it and some helicopters and stuff, it's just Battlefield still. The gameplay doesn't look any different.
And it's also the single player I don't understand because you're some kind of renegade cop and they're really pushing the narrative and it's like, do I want that from my Battlefield game? Am I really going to sit down with a Battlefield game and come away going, man, what a strong narrative?
Hey, you played Bad Company 2. That was excellent.
Bad Company 2 was excellent, but Bad Company worked because it was so tongue in cheek. It never took itself seriously at all. It was very happy to say, yeah, I'm a bit of a silly game, but don't worry because when you've got a gun in your hands and you're shooting people, it's going to feel really good. So you're going to have this, nice kind of amalgamation between the two. Battlefield Hardline, for what I can tell, is like, we are fucking serious, mate. We are fucking serious. And
this is the wire.
Don't you fuck with us because if you do, we won't laugh. We will destroy you. So I think that's the problem. I think it's going to take itself way too seriously, and it's never going to be able to. It's never going to be able to hit the expectations that it wants you to hit, or it wants the feelings you want to feel. So there's going to be this horrible disconnect where you go, I just wanted to shoot some people in the face, and now you want me to cry or something.
Yeah, I bet his wife gets killed or something, or there's a reason for him doing all this stuff. Oh, got to be awful.
It's going to be bad. I mean, it's going to be bad. I'm not excited about it at all. Although, I mean, I'm not a big Battlefield guy though, and you are. So what is it about Hardline that has completely steered you away from even? I imagine it's going to get a low excitement rating, Lynch, and I cannot believe that Battlefield Hardline would get such a low excitement rating. But why? What's it? Why is it not appealing to you? Because this is supposed to be their big. This is essentially their the first time, other than Bad Company 2, but I don't count Bad Company 2 because that was made by DICE. This is the first time they've Call of Dutied it, and they've given their IP to somebody, a different developer, and say, right, put your own spin on it.
Well, this is it. I was surprised when they announced that it was going to have this really cool, strong single player, and I was like, really? It's like you've just given us like a bunch of maps and stuff to play around with. It's like surely that's basically what Battlefield is about. It's always about the toys in Battlefield, the vehicles and the planes and all that shit. Because it works. Because you like, there's nothing more exciting than being on a battlefield and running across, having a wall explode, and then like a jet, which you know is being piloted by like a player, roar over you, and you think, ah man, there's so much shit going on here. This is awesome. And now you've got it where you've got this weird looking. Do you know what the cutscenes remind me of? Was that fucking Need for Speed?
Police Academy.
No,
it is like The Run. Yeah, it is a bit like The Run. Yeah, and The Run was terrible.
The Run was awful. It's like this ridiculous story when it's like I've got nothing wrong with like stupid storylines, but if like you're trying to take yourself seriously in it, you say I can't take you seriously. It's like you've got a 5-year-old and he's got 2 action figures and he's going, I'm a cop, I'm a robber, and it's just oh god, I can't deal with it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is a lot like that, which is why I don't care. I'm going to give it 1 out of 10 excitement rating.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
Go with
you go with 1? Okay. I do feel like we have to mention Scream Ride, only because that is essentially the Xbox One's exclusive that's also coming out in that month, so it'd be unfair not to mention it. Which is just Roller Coaster Tycoon, but you can kill people apparently. I mean, that's kind of what I got from it.
Fair enough.
Nothing to say about Scream Ride? No, man, you read it, man. David, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. David Lynch does not give a shit about Scream Ride. He could
it's
not
on
give
Xbox
a shit.
One. I haven't got an Xbox One. I've got a 360.
It's a spiritual successor to Roller Coaster Tycoon.
I know.
Made by David Braben. This is exciting times. All right, that's it.
I was more of a theme park man myself.
If you tuned in to listen to Scream Ride, fuck you, David Lynch, you just said.
I didn't say that.
He doesn't want to talk about it. But you also can play Devil May Cry Definitive Edition, which I also don't care about. I don't like the
Some
Devil
people
May Cry
care about
games.
that. I didn't even know that was coming out either.
No, but it doesn't bother me. Do you want to talk about anything else in March? I think I'm done.
It's like Project Cars, maybe. That's quite...
Well,
everyone goes, oh, it's the best looking game ever.
It's not, though. I don't think it looks like the best looking game ever.
It looks really good, don't get me wrong.
I mean, I don't know. I don't really see... Not the point of it. I do understand the point of it. Like, it's basically like a car MMO, right? Is that... no, it's not. Wait a minute. What is Project Cars? I'm thinking of something else.
Yeah, what are you thinking of?
I don't know. I'm thinking of something else. The Project Cars is the one that's basically Gran Turismo, Forza, but from a different studio, right?
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been quite big on PC and everyone's going on about it, haven't they?
Okay. I wouldn't have brought this up. You brought it up. Do you have anything to say about it?
Sorry. Not really. I'm not really.
Brilliant.
It was just a name when I saw it then. I thought it's coming out on consoles. Well, apparently. That's the thing with all this list. Is like everything's apparently because...
So all you've done there is you exposed our weakness. There was no need to do that. There was no need to expose that we're shit at that game and that you've done it.
They already know about the list. All right, then we're shit at driving games. We're not really into driving games. I like Gran Turismo and I played Forza a bunch.
All right. Excellent. It's excellent podcasting. Great knowledge for the world at large. David Lynch played a bit of these games and thought they were all right.
I put some hours in.
Right. All right. Let's move to April. Let's talk about Mortal Kombat 10.
Okay.
Or X. So they don't want to call it 10. They want to call it X.
I recently played the DC one because it was free.
Injustice, yes, that's right. I liked it.
It's all right.
I liked it.
Surprised that the single player storyline was actually quite, ridiculous, but quite engaging, and it kind of flowed quite well. I quite liked having the little story setups for each fight. I mean, it was stupid, don't get me wrong, but I quite liked it.
I liked the way it all flowed together. It wasn't like a start-stop thing. They put a narrative in place, and they kind of ran... ran a thread through it.
Yeah,
I thought it was really nice. Like I was a big fan of it. It wasn't the greatest story in the world. Neither was it, the greatest fighting game in the world. But I thought it was solid. I thought it had great depth to it. I thought you could learn it. If you generally sat down and understood how it worked, you found there was hidden depth there.
Yeah,
and it was nice the way they tried to do something different.
Yeah, and I like the special moves. Like when you get the animations and stuff that you have the power, like the superpower, whatever they call them. I did generally quite enjoyed it.
No, I did. So that's why I saw. This is all I say now, but never mind. I saw Mortal Kombat X at this year's E3, last year's E3 now, and again I thought I looked at it. It was stupid. It was over the top. It was silly. It was ridiculous, but it was meant to be. That again, the NetherRealm Studios had said to themselves, "This is Mortal Kombat. We completely appreciate that. We completely accept that. Let's embrace it. Let's make this as silly as over top of as possible." That's what people want, and that's what they've done. There will be depth there for people that want to learn it, but if you want to pick up, smash some buttons and see some ridiculous stuff happen, Mortal Kombat X will provide that to you. Mortal Kombat is my favourite fighting game.
To be honest, I'm going to say this now because like what we're saying is from two people who couldn't give two shits about the competitive fighting market or like the tournaments and stuff. We don't care about that.
It's only because we're not good enough.
Well, yeah, exactly. But we don't. We're not looking at it like they are. So I'm sure there's like a bunch of people pulling their hairs, like going, "But you can't do this," or you're thinking about it like that. I'll hold my hand up and say I'm honestly not thinking about it like that. But
I don't think those people listen to this podcast.
I don't
think those people particularly like me as a video game personality. From messages I've received, that's just what my gut tells me. But you're right; they could be listening.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So, like, I think, like, recognizing that and saying, like, because they've always said about Mortal Kombat, it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna have all this accessibility, and yet, you know, the fighting guys, it'll be tournament level, and there'll be loads of depth there, but then there very rarely ever is.
Yeah, well, that's true. But I don't. It can't just be for that. You've got those games. There will be an audience out there who want to play Mortal Kombat in that sense. You know, they do have tournaments and stuff, but also you got to make sure this stuff it can't just be for a specific niche with these kind of games. You know, it has to be. You know, to me anyway, the great recipe for a good fighting game is where you can have this accessibility where everyone can play it, have a quick fight, and then go have your dinner. But if you, after dinner, you want to go back down and sit down and learn how that game works, you can. That's why Street Fighter 4 is so good, and hopefully that's why Mortal Kombat X will be so good as well.
Okay.
Look at that. Let's see, I'm going to give it an excitement rating of 8 out of 10. Oh my gosh, am I excited about Mortal Kombat X.
Okay, so let's move on to May then, and this is when
you can't just you cannot skip over Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin Edition.
Oh, but we're just going to be you ranting about it again.
All right, fair enough. We'll leave it alone. So you want to talk about The Witcher 3 in May?
Yes.
Right now, here's my thing with The Witcher 3. On paper, oh my gosh, am I excited about The Witcher 3? The Witcher 3 looks amazing. A big open world on, you know, RPG with a great storyline, third one of the trilogies. They built up a great history and stuff. But I sat down and tried to play The Witcher 2, and I thought it was atrocious.
What do you like about it?
I thought it was, you know, difficult to control. I thought it took far too long to get going. I didn't particularly like the side quests. I thought combat was overly complicated when there was no need. You know, it wasn't complicated, but they made it complicated. And it lost me in about 3 hours, and I never picked it back up. It completely put me off, which now makes me think, is The Witcher 3 the game? You know, is The Witcher 3... Is it Oblivion? You know, Oblivion kind of took all the Elder Scrolls' good idea, but it streamlined it and made it accessible. A lot of people hated that. Personally, I liked it. Is that what The Witcher 3 is going to do? Or is it more of the same and I'm going to sit down and play it and not be impressed?
I think it's probably more of the same because I quite like The Witcher 2. I thought it was really good. I'm quite excited about The Witcher 3 because I think having all that in a more sort of open and embedded world and being able to sort of, you know, explore it and not have those loading barriers and all that whatnot, but just have this sort of more alive place to go. It just looks great. I think it looks amazing.
But why? You didn't.
I mean, all right. Visually, it looks really interesting, and I think a lot of the mechanics which you have just, you know, poo-pooed and described that you didn't like, I actually genuinely quite liked.
Okay, why? Why the combat?
Well, again, the combat. You start with combat. You say like, "Oh, I don't like it. It's too hard." It's just like, no.
No. I didn't say it was too hard. I said they made it out like it was harder than it actually was.
I'm hearing too hard and you're too wimpy, so I'm going to refer you back to your Bloodborne and Dark Souls hate. It's just something you can't get your head around because when you press X, it doesn't do it like an amazing move.
Well, look,
that's why you like Gears of War so much.
Even if that is the case, which is not for the record, I like a lot of very intricate and hardcore games. I'll have you know.
I love you're going to defend yourself now.
But even if it is, so what? There are people out there that there's nothing wrong. You're a video game elitist. You are, Lynch. You're like all that. You're like all those people online. There's nothing wrong with pushing the A button and shit blowing up. There's nothing wrong with that. But there's so many people make out like, oh, your game's crap. No, it's not. There's plenty of people out there, and I imagine quite a lot of people listen to this that while they're happy to play their Bloodborns and for this instance the Witcher 3s, which I think is still simpler than something like Bloodborne, but you know they also like that kind of stuff, and that kind of stuff gets, you know, thrown by the wayside too often. There's a market for all that. Don't get off your high horse, people. If people enjoy it, then good for them. That's all that matters. But look, I'm not saying The Witcher 2 wasn't a good game. I'm just saying it wasn't a good game to me. It was just, it didn't feel... I don't know. It just didn't feel... there was something missing from it. For whatever reason, it didn't grab me. And I'm worried that The Witcher 3 is going to be the same. Even with all this hype, I feel like it's going to be... what's the word? I can't think of the damn word, but like an expanded version of that rather than a rethinking of the whole series. And I'm not 100% sure that's something I want to play.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
I don't think you've argued your point well there at all, Lynch. I don't think
you can't just have an argument and then turn around and go, well, you didn't argue very well then, did you?
I don't think you've sold The Witcher 3.
That's not how you win arguments, you realise. You can't
I don't think you put forward a good case. If I was a judge, I would be a bit like, no, I'm not on board with this.
You're not a judge.
I could be a judge. You don't know what I do in my spare time. Right, it's time. Do you want to give an excitement rating for The Witcher?
I'm going to go for a 9. I'm really quite excited about it.
Well, so far, for the record, if nothing beats a 9, then The Witcher 3 is the most exciting game of this year.
No, there's something else.
Is it what we're about to talk about now?
It's not, actually.
You crazy motherfucker.
I think we should skip June.
No, we're not skipping June. It's Batman Arkham Knight, coming out on the Xbox One, the PS4, and the PC.
Don't
pretend you're not excited about it. Don't play this guy like you're not going to whip your bits out and run around like you're excited.
Look, it's just a bigger world. You get a car and, it's just more of the same, isn't it?
Do you want to know something?
Go on.
I think this may be worse than that. Not worse. I don't think this will be as, what's the word I'm going to go for? Important or impactful as Arkham City.
Oh, impactful. That's a horrible word.
Well, I can't think of the right word to use. Because I think it's going to be as good, but I think there is not going to be I think Origins needs to answer for a lot because I liked Origins, but
did you really like Origins?
Yeah, I did. It was fun.
I forgot that even existed. Is that even part of the trilogy?
Well, look,
they're calling this a trilogy, and I'm pretty sure if you have 4 games, it can't be a trilogy.
Lynch, if we just forgot about if we didn't like things that we forgot existed, you and I wouldn't talk anymore, but we do. So.
All right, fine.
My point being is that Origins was a great game, and it was a nice thing to have.
Really, was it really a great game?
Oh my gosh, we're not reviewing Arkham Origins.
Okay, fine.
My point being, okay, it was whatever it was, good or bad. It was still a run out of that template again, and I'm worried that has diluted the experience too much. If I hadn't have played that, I'd be chomping at the bit for a new version of that. And I don't see, because the best thing about the jump from Arkham Asylum to Arkham City was the open world. Because you think, oh my gosh, it feels like, what a jump. It's the same great mechanics, but they made it work on open world. The big jump now is you get a car. Now, I'm not 100% sure. I think it's going to be amazing. I'm going to enjoy it, but I'm not sure that is enough, to make me go, fucking hell, Arkham Knight is the greatest thing ever, which I did genuinely think Arkham City was at the time.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of get the feeling like it's a great idea, and with including the car, and I like the way they're kind of integrating it into his normal sort of repertoire of moves, and the fact that the car itself kind of has a similar mechanic in terms of how you deal with enemies. Like, you get their laser sights, and you kind of like the early warning sort of instinct that he gets when he's brawling with guys, and you counter them. To have that mechanic sort of continue in the car, I think is a really good idea.
Yeah,
but I kind of feel like I feel the same. It's like it's like an extra toy, I guess. I'd feel like maybe if they put the bloody Batwing in there as well, I'd be like, all right, now you're talking. Because it's like taking things from the ground into the air and then, being Batman. Because he does that. That's what he does. He's in the air or he's on the ground, and it's how you deal with those two scenarios and situations with the guys. That's what makes it interesting. I feel like just being in the car will be like, eh.
I don't think it's going to be I think that is mildly underselling it. Before I go any further, I want to point out that I do think Arkham Knight's going to be incredible, and I also think we should all be incredibly, happy that we have this amazing run of Batman games. Because before this, we had utter shite, and I do think this would be my favourite game this year.
Batman Begins. We played that on the.
Yeah, well I liked it, but I think I was the only guy.
Did.
I thought it was brilliant.
See, now, you saying that completely just sort of takes away everything you said about Arkham Knight. How can you?
Well, no, it doesn't.
If you like that, of course you're going to like this.
Yeah.
It's 10 times better.
Well, there we go. I didn't say I'm not going to like Arkham Knight. Look, just because you're a hater, man.
I'm not hating.
You are hating. My point, it's going to be great. I don't know whether I'll sit down and go. I mean, I remember the first day I sat down with Arkham City, I played it for 11 hours.
Jesus.
Like, that's just insane. And I'm sure I could do the same with this. I don't know. I sound like I'm being far more negative than I mean to be. I think it's going to be amazing. And
that might be my fault. I am actually genuinely quite excited about this game.
Yeah, I think the way it ties in, the Batmobile is going to be brilliant. I think the combat system will be even more improved than it was before, because they always do that. There'll be more counters and it'll feel more slick, and it will make you feel like Batman, which is all it needs to do is give me more of that. That's why it's such a success, because it makes you feel like Batman. It's a Batman simulator. So even if that's more of the same but in a slightly different world with a car, then it will be fantastic. What I do want to talk to you about is And this is spoiler, like spoiler. Turn down for 5 minutes if you don't want to listen.
What if I don't want to listen?
You shouldn't have come on the podcast. Did you see what Amazon released the other day?
No. So this is a spoiler. Go on.
Well, no, because they're now taking it down, so no one knows what it means. They released a statue of Batman, and on the plaque of the statue, it said in memory of the Gotham Knight. Are they going to kill Batman in Arkham Knight? Is that what they're going to do? The answer is no. But
they have said that this is the last game.
No, what they've said is this is the end of the Arkham trilogy. Do you think that Rocksteady aren't going to release another? Trust me, they will do.
They're already working. Apparently, in some of the features they've done, they're already working on something else. This is the end of their involvement with Batman.
No. This is at their end of the involvement in the Arkham trilogy. They will release another Batman game, but it will be wildly different to this one. I guarantee you. Why would you give up using the Batman license? Why would you do that? What would be the point? It's like these actors that go, "Well, I gave up Batman because I didn't want to be typecast." Don't be a twat. Just be Batman forever. What a great life you have. Who are you? Fucking Batman. Oh, well, poor you, Diddums. Like, there's no... Leave it for a while, definitely. You know, let that need and that anticipation rise back up. But don't give it... Why would you give it up? You make amazing Batman games. Why stop doing that? Yeah, go and do something else and prove that you're more than just that, but then come back to it in a few years.
What about if someone else wants to have a go? What if someone else has a better idea?
Well, according to you, if you give it to a different developer, you shit all over them. E.g. Arkham Origins. Didn't give that a chance at all. Have you even played it? No, exactly.
I didn't want to give it a chance because I was like, it's like looking at like films and stuff. You see, like if a strong director comes in and you can see like what they're doing with the film, you like it, and then someone else comes in and does a sequel. It's like I'm not really that interested because you've already taken away like the creative voice, and I saw all I saw with like the Batman game. It's like I'm not interested. It's just filler. I'm not interested in filler. It's like what Rocksteady were doing was like genuinely interesting in terms of how they approached the character, what they did with him, the enemies, how they utilised them, like the Scarecrow and stuff. It's like genuinely brilliant stuff. And it's like you hand it over to somebody else. It's like, well, I'm less interested, and I never got around to playing it.
Well, you play it.
I don't want to play it. I've got PS4 now.
Ooh, la-di-da. This podcast's getting really aggressive. It's like the old X360 podcast. Look, my point is, it's not a great game, but it's a good game. And look, this is your opinion on it from a company that kind of took Rocksteady's template and made it their own. So you're not going to accept...
Did they make it their own?
Well, no, but you're not going to accept a Batman game made by a different developer. You're going to shit all over it.
No, of course I am, but let's just deal with the one we got coming, all right? Because this looks really good.
All right, well, 10 out of 10 for me. 10 out of 10 anticipation rating.
9 for me.
Okay, now, the rest of the list... The games,
wow.
What?
It goes July, August, September, October, November, December, with nothing in between.
And a lot of lists have done this. So what we're going to do is we're just, if you've ever tuned in or downloaded this podcast for professionalism, go away. Because, no, don't go away. Stay. But know that that's not how this podcast works. There's already one massive gap from this. So I want to talk about this first, because if I go through this list, I forget about it. But obviously we know that this year Assassin's Creed game is Victory.
Oh, yeah, the London one.
Well, apparently so. Now... I don't know if I've said this publicly before. I've said that I hate Assassin's Creed before.
Have you said that?
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna come. What is happening to you? You're awful in 2015. I don't like the David Lynch of 2015. He's mean. I have said I hate Assassin's Creed before. What I was gonna say is an Assassin's Creed set in London may be the one that gets me to dip my toe back in. But I swear, Ubisoft, if you fuck me over with it, I'll be so fucking mad.
Why the London one though?
Because I think Victorian London is a cool setting.
Why?
Because it's just cool, isn't it? The Victorian age just has the iconography, and also they may do something with Jack the Ripper. Maybe.
Well, yeah. He'd be a quest giver. He'd be like Da Vinci was in 2.
What? Well, no. Oh, no. You cannot expect Jack the Ripper. What every quest would be, you want to murder a prostitute?
It's like, there's some prostitutes down there. Can you go kill them for me?
Can you go gut me some prostitutes? And also, if you do it, they're going to be well screwed up at who I am. They may even never figure it out. No. But he should be. I think if he's in it in some way, I think you should be Jack the Ripper. I think that would be incredible. But
you can't do that. That's ridiculous. He'll be an enemy. He'll be a Templar. You didn't know it.
Maybe, but I just think that's what I mean. There are things like that. There are elements like that are in real life are cool and interesting. And if they can get that into the video game in the right creative way, then that setting itself becomes that is the appeal rather than the Assassin's Creed game.
I guess. I find it really hard to muster up excitement for another Assassin's Creed.
I know, and I hope I'd be happy for it to go away forever. And I also know it's very hypocritical because I just shit all over the Order. But I mean,
it's the same game.
But the point being, and this is why I worry about Assassin's Creed, because I don't think it knows what it's doing. As always, the Order went, can we just set it in Victorian London? No, we got to make it all sci-fi and weird with futuristic shit. Who asked for that? That was the problem with Assassin's Creed. But if Assassin's Creed could learn maybe from its mistakes and just set it in a very realistic and very historical, with some creative license in Victorian London, that's interesting to me.
It has a danger of tipping over into steampunk, which would be great for a game, but in a series that is sort of kind of like given the illusion of like authenticity and like sort of thought behind the history, wouldn't be right.
No, I agree. Okay, so I wanted to mention that, and now literally we're going into alphabetical territory now. So Lynch, what I want you to do is I want you to run your eyes down this list, and when you come across a game you want to talk about, do it, and then I'll do the same.
Okay, I've gone around to the D's and I've gone for the Division.
The D, fucking
yeah.
hell,
There was nothing there. All right, well let's read them. Adrift, Apotheon, Axiom, Artes, the Banner Saga, which is all right. Bastion, Battleborn, Battlecry Before, Below, Blood Bowl 2, Broken Age, Chasm, Chronicle.
What? Stop reading out games. All right, the Division. Now, we don't put any fucking stock in the Division because it's another Ubisoft game. So everything they've told you for the last 2 years is a fucking lie. Don't even pretend that you think any of the shit they said is going to happen. You're going to sit down and play it and go, it's fucking Watch Dogs. But this time, I'm in the army, and then you get to choose which Ubisoft game would you like to play. Oh, you're into history. Here's Assassin's Creed. Oh, you like nature. Why don't you play Far Cry? Oh, you're into the modern day. Here's Watch Dogs. Oh, you like a bit of army. Here's the Division. That's all it's going to be. You're going to be climbing up towers. Don't even pretend they're going to make any of that shit work.
They might. It's different enough from what they've done before in terms of like how you play it. In terms of like you have to work as a team. You have to go in. So, it's an open world. It's like more like an MMO in that sense. And that sounds interesting to me. I like the world looked amazing. Like the New York and like all the crap. It looked cool.
Yeah, it looked cool, but didn't Assassin's Creed look cool? And didn't Watch Dogs look cool? And you played it and went, wait a minute, this isn't what I wanted at all. Now look, the Division. You
can argue anything with logic.
The Division's biggest thing is that it's got. Oh my gosh, it's an online persistent world where your friend. They're not going to
do the voice.
Yeah, that's how they always say it. Like you're playing, but you're playing with other people at the same. But you're also not. It's a persistent world. Fuck off. Like. I don't believe it. I've been scorned too much. It's boy who cried wolf syndrome. And while I think everything they presented to me about the Division looks amazing, I don't believe that's how it's going to play. I believe it's going to come out and it's going to be so Ubisoft. Again, I think it's great because much like the Assassin's Creed game we mentioned, it is for Xbox One and PS4 and PC, which is great. So, this is a next. We shouldn't call it next gen, but come on, who really cares? It is a next gen experience, or at least from a on paper point of view. And if they make that work, then hopefully this is the Ubisoft game that changes that template, but I don't see it happening. I just don't. I cannot envision any world where the Division comes out and surprises me.
Okay. I mean, I understand all those arguments, but I still have a little bit of excitement left because it does look quite cool.
Okay. While we're in the D's, I think we need to mention Dead Island 2.
Oh, God, what's this sudden fascination with the Dead Island series?
Because I know that people like it, and I don't want people to feel. I don't want people to go. You did talked about 2015, but didn't talk about Dead Island 2. I got no interest in Dead Island 2, but again, it's an it's an Xbox One, PS4, PC game that people are excited about. So I'm mentioning it that it's coming out.
I did quite like the video they did. Like, I mean, it was pre-rendered and all that crap, but I just thought it was funny.
You did not the E3 one.
Yeah, I thought it was quite funny.
Oh, Lynch, you and I mean, for considering we've been friends so long, sometimes we really do fall on different sides of the fence with things. I thought it was terrible.
I really liked it.
Okay. What I do want to mention is Day of the Tentacle Special Edition, because going back to the start of the podcast, much like Grim Fandango, what a wonderful point-and-click game that deserves its remastery.
Yeah, another good one for the Vita. That'll be excellent.
Oh, fantastic! And also, Devil's Third apparently is coming out this year.
Apparently,
yeah. Don't hold out for that. Be-Empowered podcast listeners. Okay.
Also, the Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah. Well, considering how Bethesda feel about me at the moment, I'll skip that one. But okay. Yeah, good luck with that, guys. Also, how's the Elder Scrolls Online doing? A lot of people talking about it, right?
That's so mean.
I love the Elder Scrolls games. I think the Elder Scrolls Online.
You do. You genuinely do that, but not the MMO.
I think Oblivion is one of the best games ever. I think the MMO is a game that should have come out in the mid-90s. That's just what, or the early 2000s. I think it feels so incredibly old and out of touch that it's just not the right game. Another game that I'm really upset about because I just think it has taken the series in a direction I never wanted to go in is Fable Legends.
I'd agree with that.
It's just all Fable. The original Fable. Again, I understand it's much like the Ubisoft tactic. You know, Peter Molyneux didn't deliver on anything he told me he was going to do, but he still managed to produce a very, very good and a very, very entertaining RPG. Fable 2, a little less so. Fable 3, lesser still. And
I thought Fable 2 was the stronger of the three games.
Maybe, but for me, when I look back at that series, every game has just felt like it's, misstepped or gone in a different direction. And now we're at some weird...
I love that dog, though. I love that dog so much.
Everyone loved that dog. I sacrificed that motherfucker.
Oh, you would, you heartless man. That fucking dog stood by you for, like, how many hours? God knows how many hours. He pointed out bloody gold and shit in the ground, and you fucking sacrificed him without a second thought, didn't you?
Yeah, of course I did. It's a digital animal in a game. I had no connection to it. But my point is that Fable Legend is now some weird multiplayer thing where one of you plays the enemy and the rest are heroes. It's like, no, this is what. I appreciate you trying something different with the license, but this is not what I wanted at all.
Yeah, well, I mean, what's the other direction? Is like MMO, I guess. But I don't know. It's like I wonder how much of that series was sort of. I mean, it looked like it was championed by Peter Molyneux, but I wonder how much was going on behind the scenes with him there and like directing the core ideas there, because I don't think he'd have done this. No,
but my problem with it is that it's a new Fable game on the Xbox One. You know, it's the Xbox One exclusive. Just give me a really flipping good RPG to sink my teeth into. Like you can, again, the wonderful thing about releasing old series on new consoles is you can get away with kind of just doing what you did before, but making it new and exciting in certain ways. And they could have done. I don't mean visually. I mean core gameplay as well. And I just steered it in a completely. I really don't get Fable Legends. Like, it really is not a game that interests me. Like, I'm sure there are people out there that are like, oh, brilliant. But I understand why they're doing it with the Fable license, because it kind of, what's the word? You're taking less of a risk because it's not a new IP then. But I'd much rather this was like just Legends or something like that. You know,
it seems to have lost a lot of its humour as well. I know they're trying to be a little bit funny with some of it, but it just looks gung-ho again. It's just like, no, Fable Legends is like, well, Fable's supposed to be, it's British, the humour is ridiculous, it's like Monty Python mixed with like, some modern day slapstick and stuff. It's meant to be stupid. Yeah. And this just looks like, oh yeah, serious warriors, look us go. Yeah,
no, I agree. And I also, actually, I don't know, I've completely lost my train of thought there. I don't know what I was going for then. Will I edit that out? Maybe, who knows. Do you know what the best Fable game is?
Oh god! No.
Pub games on Xbox Live Arcade. I love that game. I thought it was wonderful. Okay, go on. Keep running your sexy eyes down this list and tell me what you find. No, you're supposed to be quicker than that. It's supposed to be like bam, bam. I got it. Here it is.
They got some weird ones on it. Final Fantasy 7 is that on PS4?
Well, it's not a real remake. It's just coming out on PS4. Like, it's not. Okay. That's the whole thing that they teased. It was going to be a remake, and people on the internet literally blew up. And then when they put themselves back together, they realised that they'd been completely trolled and screwed over.
Okay, I'm going to jump over a few like Fortnite because.
Well, I do want to mention Fortnite because what has taken them so long? Like it's been around for almost 4 years.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's supposed to be their Minecraft clone, and it's like, what is taking you guys so long? I mean, I don't know who's interested in Fortnite now. I mean, the Epic Games haven't done anything for ages. They keep teasing the Unreal Engine 4, and the next game they're coming out is Fortnite, which is just, I don't know who is going to invest in that game now. I really don't. I feel like it's a couple of years too late.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Moving on to the one below it, what the hell is Gang Beasts?
Oh, you haven't just said that out loud.
Well, what is it?
Even I know what Gangs Beasts. You're going to get destroyed. The internet's going to destroy you. Oh, you're in so much trouble.
I'm sorry. You are so much trouble with the internet, like it's my mum.
Gang Beasts is like the indie scene's champion.
Oh, is it?
Oh my gosh.
There's a lot of those.
Well, yeah, there is a lot of those. You're right. But I mean,
there's like every fucking indie game. It's the indie game champion, darling. They love them.
Gang Beasts is like, it's on Steam Early Access at the moment, if I remember correctly, and it's like a beat 'em up, but you're these weird like plastic things. I'm not describing this well at all.
That sounds amazing.
No, it is really good. It is really good. It's all multiplayer focused. And the idea is you win the match by throwing your opponent off the environment. So you may be throwing them into like big spikes, or throw them off the top of a truck, or throw them off a Ferris wheel. But the way it kind of works is it's like a pro wrestling game, really.
Oh, Christ.
No, dude, you got to stop doing this. The internet will kill you. They love it. It is really, really, really good. There's a video on Video Game of me playing it with Brat. But Gang Beasts, yeah, it's good. It's really good. You'll like it. You will like that game. That's
I'm being
facetious.
Deliberately facetious.
Yes, but you're already dead. So it's like having you. Surely, I know what you're going to talk about now. So just do it.
No, Geometry Wars 3 Dimensions on the Vita as well.
That's already out. Geometry that came out last year.
Yeah, it says Vita next to it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's coming out on the Vita next year. But don't talk about 2014 games, Lynch.
Sorry, Godzilla.
Hey, what is that?
I've seen trailers for that. That's just
Who's making it?
Oh, it's Bandai Namco.
No,
I think so. Check it.
Hang on.
I think that's right.
All right, let's do another Google search. What a podcast! This is the weirdest podcast. It is so all over the place. Oh, here we go. Yeah, Godzilla the game. It's already out in Japan. It's coming out in July in North America. Oh man, it looks terrible. And it is Namco, but it is bad. It is. Yeah, it looks really bad. It looks terrible. Yeah, let's talk about it. Just talk about Halo 5. Just do it.
Okay, Halo 5.
Right. Okay.
Right. Hands up now. I've not played the beta. I don't own an Xbox One yet. I have not played the beta.
Well, that's fair enough. You don't have to play it.
It looks all right.
People are getting mad about it, saying it's too much like Call of Duty.
I know they are. And
how does that make you feel?
What for a game I've not played?
No, but what do you feel about them taking the Halo property, which in many ways is responsible for the online boom on consoles, and now trying to copy other people's ideas? Does that not upset you?
I got bigger things to worry about than that.
Oh, come on, Lynch.
Look, right, okay. It's a beta for a start, isn't it? They're trying something new. This is not the whole hand that they're showing there. This is like a little teaser, a little taste to test the waters, see how it's going. They can square all that stuff back. They can pale it back. It's fine. It's just they're just trying something new, and I think sort of leveling the playing field, because a lot of what Halo 4 did was give everybody lots of different abilities, and it kind of nerfed it in a few different areas. I think giving players a level playing field in what in Halo 5 is from what I can understand with the gameplay they've done so far, is a smart decision. You know, it's how you utilise the skills at hand in the gunplay which makes sense. It's why I don't like Call of Duty so much, because it's just so unfair, essentially, because the longer you play, the better you get, not because you're good, but because of the abilities you have. That's I don't appreciate that. I prefer having a level playing field, and I would say visually it kind of looks all right. It doesn't look hugely different from 4 to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not disagreeing with you. I just thought you would be
really good looking game.
But it is on a last gen machine.
Yes, I realise this.
Well, this is the first Halo game 4 kind of pushed me over the edge, and now I'm there. I don't want to play it. I'm done with Halo.
Yeah.
I feel like it's run its course. I know it hasn't run its course in the grand scheme of things, but for me, I don't need to. I've had enough great Halo experiences now that I don't need to. I feel like I'm done with it. I just feel like I've had enough. I've had my fill, and it's time to. I'm not saying I wouldn't go back to Halo in a few years, but this is one that I'll definitely not play straight away, and I'll give it some time
I can understand that, but I'm totally going to wait, because what they did before in terms of the we talked about it before in terms of the co-op campaign and all that kind of stuff, I thought was really, really smart, intelligent ways of utilising what generally is brilliant gameplay and putting it in new scenarios and framing it in a sort of a way which made it feel quite fresh and new. I think they've probably got more ideas like that in line for Halo 5, and I'm totally ready to wait and see what happens with it, because it's the whole Guardians thing, like the fact that you've got the Chief there and this other character, the other Spartan that you might play. And I think looking at what Bungie's done with Destiny, it's moving towards a sort of this new kind of shooter, and I'm totally willing to give Halo the benefit of the doubt, obviously, because it's me.
Obviously, because the Halo podcast never made it to air, because unfortunately it had technical issues.
I forgot about that.
I can wrap it up for you now. It was an hour of David Lynch saying how great Halo was.
Basically, you go, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Exactly. So one game I do want to talk about, oddly, is Homefront: The Revolution. There's no way that game is coming out this year. There is just no way that game is coming out this year. They had one reveal event, and then they have shut up about it. So if you're expecting that this year, don't. It's not.
This is why I love these lists, because it's so like wishful thinking. It's brilliant.
Hotline Miami 2 this year as well. I'm a big fan of Hotline Miami. I think it's really, really good. Is Just Cause 3 this year?
Yes.
I don't think that was this year.
They've been ramping up with stuff, and they've been talking about it a lot more. So I'd say that's this year, and that looks. I'm quite excited about that.
No, Just Cause to me was just a big open world of nothingness. I had this huge open world that looked really nice, but there was nothing to do in it. I wasn't.
You played it wrong then.
Well, maybe, but I'm not saying that Just Cause 3 again. It's another one of these games that's next gen only, but I don't know. At the moment, it doesn't get me that excited.
Okay, Legend of Zelda we kind of touched on.
No, don't you even dream about. We're going to have a little Zelda moment now. In a few weeks' time, I'm going to have the man, the myth, the legend, Brett Phipps on to do a big Zelda podcast. But the Legend of Zelda Wii U. It's 10 out of 10 on the excitement rating for me. It's up there with Batman.
It does look really good.
It looks so good. And it's just, to me, this is like the second coming of Ocarina of Time. It's a reason to buy a Wii U.
Don't undersell it or anything.
It's not. It's just, it just looks wonderful. Like it's the first game Nintendo have done with this big fancy open world in HD, which for me is exciting because I do believe when it comes to style and the way they approach visuals is second to none. I don't think anyone does it better than them.
No, I agree.
Their art style is always wonderful, and it's a Zelda game that is aiming to. How do I explain it? It just seems to me that it's a Zelda game that potentially could shake things up a little bit to what people expect Zelda games to be. Now, I'm always the guy that's happy to take the same Zelda game for the rest of my life because I think I'm still not bored of the format. All right, I'm still not bored of the format, but I don't know. We don't know enough information to really talk about it that much. But I just think for everything I have seen, I couldn't be more excited about it, and I also couldn't be more excited about Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask now coming to 3DS, the best Zelda game that you've never played. And I don't mean you, David Lynch. I mean you, the person.
I've never played it. I know about it. I never played it.
You've never played it. You've got to play Majora's Mask.
Is there a time travel thing in it, and you got like a time limit?
Yeah, it's like Dead Rising before Dead Rising, but done right and not done terribly. But that's a different conversation for a different time. Majora's Mask though is brilliant, and it was one of those games back in the day that not many people could play unless you had the expansion pack, thanks to Nintendo. But yeah, I mean, it's a great year for Zelda games.
Okay, but assuming they're coming out, even though we've already stipulated that. What's it called?
Star Fox coming out first. Well, let's dream big. Let's believe.
All right.
Okay, it's your choice.
Mad Max.
Mad Max. I saw Mad Max. In fact, you know what?
Was it at E3? Was it?
Yeah. It was. Look, I can't help it.
No way.
I can't help it that I went to E3 and saw a lot of fucking video games. Well, look, you're not bringing anything to the table, are you?
Oh my god.
What I'm going to do is I don't remember what I thought of Mad Max, so I'm literally going on videogamer.com, the website that I used to work for, and I'm going to find what I wrote about it.
Don't just read out old copy. That's so lazy. You can't even remember.
I'm not going to read out old copy. I'm just going to get... Here we are. E3, behind closed doors. That was 2013. Shit, I saw it 2 years ago. Fucking hell, I saw it 2 years ago. All right, I'm clicking it. Here we go. Look, this is top-notch podcasting. Where else are you going to get this?
I was still working on the magazines back then as well.
The magazines.
Yeah, you know the ones.
Look, the tagline, "The wasteland feels a little too empty for its own good." See?
Quality copy, that is. Quality writing.
Right. Do I want to read this out? It may be badly written. I wrote this when I was probably jet-lagged at E3.
Oh, make excuses now.
I'll read the final paragraph. Mad Max does have the selling point of being set in a world millions of people love and thankfully...
Millions of people love Mad Max.
Yeah, millions of people love Mad Max.
Millions.
They do. To truly shine, however, Avalanche will have to ensure its core concepts are equal to, if not better than, the canvas you can paint on. Oh, nice, Simon. Nice little wordplay.
Lovely little wordplay there.
So yeah, it felt empty to me. It felt empty.
It's because it's a bloody desert, wasteland. Of course it felt empty. It's supposed to feel empty.
Yeah, but that means... what's the point of making a game then? If there's nothing to do in a massive world, what's the point?
It's like, oh yeah, the wastelands in Fallout 3, they feel a bit empty. Yeah, because everyone's fucking dead.
No, they didn't feel empty. That felt vast. There's a big difference.
Oh my god, let's go to synonyms. Ooh, what should we go? Oh, vast.
No, it did. It felt vast because although it was like a big open landscape, there was stuff to do. Mad Max was just sand. It was just sand for miles.
Have you ever seen Mad Max, the film? It's set in the desert.
But it's called creative licensing, Lynch. If you're so you're telling me by that statement, if you went to watch the movie and it was just Mad Max walking for 2.5 hours in the desert going, man, there's not a lot to do around here, it would not have the same following it does now. But they found stuff for him to do, and the video game needs to do the same.
Okay.
You were going to make a point, then your phone rang.
It's ringing on my screen. Hang on a second.
Oh, this is the worst. This is the worst podcast yet.
Oh, sorry,
David Lynch.
It rings on my computer as well. There you go.
David Lynch derails the podcast to answer a phone call. You were about to argue about Mad Max.
Yes, because.
But you've lost your train of thought now because you took a phone call.
It's a desert, right? Okay, you're not going to have a Mad Max film where he just walks in the desert. Of course, it's like you're going to have something to do. But I think criticising it because it's open like that, I think it's a bit that's weak.
No, they have to put something. They have to put something in there. They have to. You have to come up with ways to make the desert interesting. That's their job.
2013 Simon was lazy.
Well, yeah, he was, but that's neither here nor there. My point is that, okay, so you've got a huge open world, but there's nothing to do in it, but it's Mad Max. What's the point?
The car. Apparently the car is the point.
Okay, so you've got a car. Okay, so now a car appears, and you just drive around the desert
No,
in the car.
it's not just about the car, because you build your own car, and you can, it's every bit of it you can, attach to it, which I don't really understand, because it's not really about what Mad Max is. I mean, all right, yeah, he has a car, but he doesn't do anything to it. I don't think any of the films has he ever really. I can't really remember Beyond the Fun Zone that well.
Okay, two things. One, you're arguing with yourself. You've just made a point, and now you're arguing with it. Two, yeah, the car was a big deal in the film.
Yeah, it is a big deal, but it's not that the big deal isn't. Oh, well, I'm gonna put. Well, he just put spikes on it at some point, doesn't he?
Oh my gosh! Right, we're leaving Mad Max. We're moving on. Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain is going to be really good.
Right, exciting.
No Man's Sky. Before I talk about it,
right? No. This is my one. This is the one I've been waiting for. This is my most exciting game of next year.
I knew it. I fucking knew it. I knew you'd love No Man's Sky.
What?
I hate No Man's Sky.
Why?
Okay, it's the first time I've said this publicly.
Oh
fuck it.
God, you're so annoying.
I think No Man's Sky looks so incredibly dull and so incredible. People go like, it's got procedurally generated open universe. So you can go to every planet you want. Can I blow the planet up? No. So.
What game has ever allowed you to blow a planet up?
Exactly, Lynch. Good. Now we're talking. Why haven't games? I'm exaggerating. I'm not as excited as other people, but I want you to tell me why you are.
Because it's the sci-fi pulp universe that I've read about, and it's those gorgeous covers from the 1970s, all the literature books and stuff. It's this understanding that sort of having an open world and exploring an open universe and exploring is more about than just meeting people there. It's about sort of forging your own path through this universe and putting your stamp on planets that are innumerable, but people can visit them. It's about this sort of just the vastness of space and just going somewhere on your own and looking around and discovering shit. It just looks amazing, and it's for a game that's being made by 4 people, it's insane. It's so ambitious. It looks so good.
It is ambitious, but why does that mean it's going to correlate into a good video game?
Well, because I've got a bit of faith in their creative talents.
No, I'm not saying that.
Give the guys a break. They got flooded 2 years ago. Leave them alone.
I'm saying they got flooded 2 years ago. I know they did, but that is neither here nor there. What I'm saying to you, okay, so you fly around for a bit.
Oh God, yeah. All right, yes, you fly around,
and you go to these planets.
Yeah, you go to the planets.
But then what?
You explore.
For what? What am I looking for? Gold?
Well, they've talked
iron.
They've talked a little bit about what you're actually exploring for, but they've hinted at that you sort of you're making progress and trying to get to work, because everybody starts on the outer limits of a huge universe, and everyone's all scattered all over the place. And the idea is that you have to explore to sort of chart a map in a way, and you kind of the more you chart, the closer, and you can get. And apparently, at the heart of the universe is something, but they're not really saying what. So it's like a collective effort of charting this universe, but it's procedurally generated, so they can sort of tailor it and sort of shrink it and make it bigger. It just there's a lot of ideas there that are sort of aren't fully formed because they've not really talked about it, but it looks good. It looks really exciting. I'm excited about getting in that ship and wandering around and finding fucking dinosaurs on a planet and just but understanding that no one would have seen that yet, and when I get there, I can name it or I can be a part of its history. So when somebody else stumbles across it, they'll see that I've been there, and I can go, "Fuck you, I was there first."
Wow, that is a really interesting way to be excited about a game. But all right, fair enough. Okay, given that time is coming against us, what we're going to do is now I'm going to throw my eyes down this list. You do the same, and then we'll just shout things out that look interesting.
Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Is that next year?
This year.
Yeah, this year. That'd be good. I like the last Tomb Raider game was really good. I'm excited about that. Rainbow Six Siege. Don't believe what they showed you in that demo. It's not going to happen.
Quantum Break.
Quantum Break. Oh, I mean. My problem with Quantum Break is that it's now been 3 different games already, and they haven't even let anybody play it yet. So it's like, what's it going to end up being? And I always think Remedy bite off more than they can chew. I thought Alan Wake was okay, but I didn't think it was the kind of all-encompassing, yeah, exactly, warrior that some people thought it was going to be. And I think the Quantum Break's going to be the same. I think it's just going to be like, yeah, okay,
Yeah,
all
fair.
right.
Agree with that.
I'm not massively excited about it. I just saw another game when I was looking at this list and thought, oh yeah, I want to talk about PGA Tour Golf.
Oh, really?
Did you not remember what they showed at E3?
No. Oh, God,
Right.
E3, Jesus.
Oh, shut up! But they did. I can't help when they show off their game. They showed this thing where you're on a golf course and all of a sudden a volcano erupts and a massive ship just blows up.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that. Was bullshit. It was a Battlefield engine crap,
yeah,
wasn't it?
what the
don't-
fuck? Just make a golf game, guys. I mean, jeez, that was weird. Yeah, that's why I
was
wanted to
weird.
mention it. See, look, now you agree with me. You see, you're on board.
Oh,
don't
no, I agree with you.
I think that's it.
No, there's a few more. I swear I saw a few more. Hang on. Oh,
Look at this.
right. The other
Top-notch
one, it
podcast,
might
yeah.
not come out this year, but it's Dyson EA, but Star Wars Battlefront. I love the Battlefront series. I'm well excited about that.
Yeah, I mean, Star Wars Battlefront, if it does come out this year, would be incredible.
It has to come out this year. It comes out before December, but when Star Wars, the new one, comes out, it'd be bloody perfect.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
like, it has to come out this year. It just has to.
Well, I just think, DICE do know what they're doing, even though Battlefield 4 is not good evidence or an example of that. And I think that the Star Wars license needs to kick up the arse, and I think EA are the people to do it. I think Star Wars Battlefront will be one of the best games in a long time.
Oh, there's
Very,
something
very
else on...
confident. Well, I want to talk about Splatoon. Now, I recently maybe saw Platoon, a gaming event that people are well aware of. And so many people came away from that going, oh, fucking Splatoon, mate. I'm going to Splatoon all over it when it comes out. I thought it was rubbish. Now, not rubbish, that's not fair, but I thought it was a very cutesy, what's the word I'm looking for? Shallow shooting game. That the only reason people got excited about it is because it was a first-person shooting game from Nintendo.
Yeah.
But I don't think it deserved the anticipation it got. I'm being well too negative, but never mind. I don't think it deserved the oh my gosh, that word.
Anticipation.
Thank you very much. That it got from people. I personally, when I played it at this event that no one knows of, I didn't get it. It was lost on me.
Okay, fair enough.
What was yours?
One we haven't talked about, Uncharted 4. We're not even mentioned that. It's
Yeah,
only
we haven't got to you yet.
right below Tropico 5.
Oh my gosh, Tropico 5. Uncharted 4, look, I like the Uncharted games, but I think Uncharted 3 was a big misstep for the series. I think it felt like it was made by Naughty Dog's B team. It was made by Naughty Dog's B team. I think Naughty Dog and Sony are aware that it was a little bit of a problem. They knew it itself because they patched it to make the combat a bit better.
They did. They nerfed the gunplay. The gunplay was like huge.
So I think that they know that, and so I think with that in mind, and the fact they're billing it as Nathan Drake's last adventure, that it should be excellent. And it's definitely a game I will play and that I'm looking
I
forward to.
wasn't totally blown away by with that gameplay sequence. They showed.
No, I thought it was very mundane and a little bit boring. But with that said, I don't know. I've got faith that this one will.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely play it.
Yeah, I believe. Always believe.
Yeah.
We should talk about Silent Hills as well. If that does come out this year, I don't believe it will. I think it will come out next year.
Yeah, I think there's just a bit of time on that.
But I think I finally completed PT. Everyone will be pleased to know.
How did you get past that last bit? Did you whisper into the microphone?
No,
and stuff?
I got my microphone, I plugged it in, and then I had to play a YouTube clip of Kojima making noise to make it happen. So thanks very much for creating the most fucked up shit ever, Kojima.
But how great is that though? That's like proper like Metal Gear
No,
Solid
it's
1 stuff where you're like,
it's
I love that
bollocks.
though. It's really
That's
great.
too much.
It's not too much. It's like putting that fear in the room with you. It's not just on the TV screen. It's in the room. You have to do stuff in the real world to make it
How
work.
is me getting Kojima to shout down a microphone, putting me in their world?
It's just, I don't understand you sometimes. It's like,
Right, I'm going out, and I won't be back till later. I think PT is excellent. I think Silent Hills will be great, but I think rein that in just a tad. That's too.
oh no, see, I'm the opposite. I have more of that, way more of that.
So you want to be stuck on a puzzle for 2 days, and then the internet to tell you that you got to play Kojima down a microphone?
Yeah, I mean that's cool because I remember being stuck on because I borrowed my first copy of Metal Gear Solid before I bought it.
It's different.
But
The Metal Gear Solid.
Let me tell my story. But I didn't have the box, because you had the code on the back. Yeah, I didn't have that, and I was like, that's annoying, but cool.
No, but the game hinted at that, though. The point was the game hinted at that. Like with Psycho Mantis, the game hinted that maybe you should try plugging it into a second controller. There was no hint in PT that Kojima had to shout down a microphone.
Yeah, but then in Metal Gear Solid, it's like it breaks the fourth wall a bit too much for my liking. To maintain that consistency in the world, which like PT does.
But by that logic, you may as well rub yourself on your television set. You may as well try everything. It may be like, well, it could be anything, so I'm going to have to try everything that comes into my mind.
Exactly, but you don't know where the scare might come in that. It's like, what's going to happen? Oh, no, there's so much potential for something really fucking freaky to happen.
This is bad because I think PT is awesome. I loved it, and I think Silent Hills would be great, but I still think it just needs to be reined in a tad. Just a little bit, a smidgen, a touch.
You're wrong.
Well, no, that is banned from my world. No one is wrong. Everybody is right, and we have...
All right, you're less right then.
And we have I would say we have, like, nice debates. This hasn't been a nice debate. It's been two people yelling at each other for an hour and a half. Street Fighter 5 apparently this year as well. PS4 and PC exclusive. That's exciting, isn't it?
Which one?
Street Fighter 5.
Oh, yeah, I remember them showing that.
Yeah, do you? Oh, that's good. I'm glad. I'm glad you remember it. I think that's all I want to talk about, to be honest. I'm sure there are games I've missed, but
we've gone on for. I think we've got maybe a pretty exhaustive list there.
This is the longest podcast that the Be-Mpowered has ever gone. It's not as long as the ones we've done in the past, but my whole point was to keep these short and like bite-sized, but that hasn't happened at all. But again, we did just talk about all the games that we can think of in a year coming out, so I guess it's going to take some time. But I'm sure there are games we've missed. We do not, by any chance, think this is a definitive list.
You can blame Game Informer for that.
Well, yeah, I guess. But you know, this has been the weirdest podcast yet. If you enjoyed Lynch and I yelling at each other about games, then yeah, good for you. If not, I understand.
I apologise for that.
Lynch, when are we doing the Star Wars podcast?
Soon.
It's happening, right? I didn't make it up.
No, we're totally doing it. I really want to do it.
I think we should try and meet up next week. I think I'm going to drop Sam a line after this podcast.
Do it. I'm actually quite free next week.
Okay, well, there we go. So keep an eye out for that, but obviously there's plenty more coming in the Be-Mpowered podcast range. Plenty more gaming talk and plenty more talk about other things as well. We're going to do sport soon. We're going to talk about sports. That'll be interesting.
Oh, yeah, I won't be around for that.
No, I'm not inviting you for that. Lynch, you're on Twitter at DAI_Lynch. That's Die Lynch.
Die Lynch.
What's your favourite website?
Oh, rulesofplay.co.uk for all your board game needs.
Thank you very much. I mean, you got to get better at that, man. You got.
Okay, sorry.
I will. I'll try. You can't pause. What? Who? Me?
What's the website?
Exactly. But yeah, so keep it. You know, if you want to yell at Lynch or anything, you can do it either in the comments below on the YouTube video or tweet him as well, and I'm sure he'll get back to you. As for me, it's at Simon Miller 316 on YouTube. You can just search for Simon Miller, or you can go to youtube.com/Simon Miller 316. And more importantly than all of that, if you have liked what you've heard, or if you haven't, go to iTunes or whichever review aggregator you use and leave us a little review, because that pushes us up the rankings and maybe more people can see it. And you know what, Lynch? They'll become empowered too.
Oh, that's very exciting.
You're getting empowered all the time now. You're going to be like a hero soon.
Superhero?
Yeah, damn right.
Sure, superhero.
Well, yeah, maybe not. A sidekick. You'll be a sidekick.
What?
You'll be a sidekick. Come on now. Let's be fair.
That's how you think of me, isn't it?
No, I think of you as trash.
Oh, okay.
But that has been the games of 2015. What we're excited about, what we're not excited about. We will revisit that list at some point if new games, get specific release dates, or there's something we want to chat about. But for the meantime, thank you very much for downloading us. Thank you very much for letting us into your lives, and we will be back in 1 week's time.